This channel is supported by my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, as well as my books, including my new book, Fishing the Edge, Techniques and Tales from Surf, Boat, and Kayak. You can learn more at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon. Okay, that's where we're headed, and as they say, getting there is half the fun. It's going to be a little dark to start. All right, so I'm heading out for tarpon, which clearly I'm doing very early in the morning. This is the first time I've done this trip this year. It's the first time I've gone through this area since the storm, so I've already had to go through some pretty tight spots with stuff falling down. The tide is very low, and I just spooked a big alligator, and it's the first time that I've done that. Once I get out in the main area, alligators aren't going to be an issue, but they're here. And the best part is the water's so low that I'm going to have to get out of the kayak and drag it in a little bit, like very soon. I'll be a lot happier when it's a little bit lighter, but I really want to get out there early. Tarpon are really happier when it's early. The problem is I can't use my GPS and fish finder because it's too bright. It just blinds you. I'm hoping I'm making the right turns here. Yeah, I'm spooking other stuff. Okay, so I'm hitting the shallows now. I'm spooking some other stuff here. I think it's a little deeper close to the shoreline where the alligators like to hang out. Right, I'm in the Old Town Autopilot Sportsman, and it's been a little too shallow to put that trolling motor down without worrying about hitting something, so I've been paddling my way through the shallows and everything. So I'm in a little bit deeper water now. I can drop that trolling motor down and get myself going. And I'm doing this trip because there's bad red tide in the usual areas where I've been fishing. So I figured I'd do this, and I'll get away from that for this particular trip. And yeah, I ran a couple of these trips last year, and in total only had I jumped one tarpon out of about 3 or 4 trips. So I have no idea what I'm going to come into this trip. Okay, I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Alright, never know what to expect here. Yeah, I'm surprised to see another boat out. He's way up there, just on the other side of the bridge. We'll see him as we come through. I'm going to make sure I go through this passage here so I don't interfere with them. Yep, and they are like maybe even secured to that over there, and they're pitching live baits back along the bridge. So yeah, I don't fish bait. I like these 5-inch jerk shads. Like I said, I'll have links to those in the video description. I think those are zooms, and on a swim bait hook, and that's what's worked for me with these fish. All right, my strategy here is I'm going to pick a spot where it'll be just about casting distance from the mangroves, a little bit out farther than that. I don't want to throw into the mangroves, but I want to be able to fish all the water between the kayak and the shore, and then I'll have that same distance on the outside. That will cover a good chunk of water. I will basically spot lock on this and work this water. I got to tell you already, there's something I don't like. What I'm not seeing is I haven't seen anything roll. Usually you come out early in the morning, you expect to see a few tarpon roll if they're here, and I'm not seeing any at all. But well, just get started. I'm just going to keep looking and looking. And I will give you a good look at this retrieve in a few minutes. Yeah, just tweaking my position a little bit because I'm afraid I could cast into the mangroves from there. Okay, watch the water at about 10 o'clock. Okay, just saw a tarpon. Third cast. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh well. Trying to get a better look at the size. And yeah, you know what, I realize at this point he's definitely over 40 inches, so he needs to stay in the water. That's a Florida law that you don't remove tarpon in excess of 40 inches from the water. So I'm gonna keep him over the side, get that hook out, and then what I'm gonna do is I will kick that trolling motor in, and I'm gonna tow him and get him revived and off to a good swim away. All right, and here's a look at the retrieve. Both, you'll be able to see my cranking hand and the reel at times, as well as the rod action. And yeah, I mean, it's not just here that I've been successful hooking tarpon with this lure. It's worked well for me in Pine Island Sound, just, you know, real effective. And you know, I'm in about 18 to 20 feet of water here, and you know, I realize this thing is probably just below the surface. But tarpon, I guess, are normally looking up. You know, I have tried a number of different lures here. This happens to be the one that has worked the best. It's just a twitching, nice darting back and forth. You can see sometimes that hand pauses a little bit on the retrieve right there. So it's a pretty slow retrieve, just darting, and they react. I mean, here I just tried a different lure. You know, I do try different things, and I always end up going back to this 5-inch jerk shad. And this is hours later. I have not even had another hit. I've seen very few tarpon roll. I feel very lucky to have one. And you know, hey, this is the kind of trip. If I get one, you know, I realize that wasn't a monster, but hey, big enough. You know, I'm happy already with this trip. Oh, so there's a terrible catch. I mean, how does that even happen on an artificial, like right near the surface of the water, over 20 feet of water? And you think about these guys being near the bottom, but yeah, that's a topsail cat. You can see the slime all over the leader. Oh well. Yeah, I knew pretty quick it wasn't a tarpon, no jumping, but yeah, just glad to get this guy out of here. I have to clean off my leader. Look. So I definitely made a big mistake when I bought the lithium battery for this kayak. I got one that didn't have a Bluetooth interface, and so I have no idea what the charge is. And it's not a big deal if you go out for a short trip, but if you're out all day and you don't know what your battery charge is, well, that's kind of unnerving. So on my boat, which requires a 24-volt battery, I've got a Roy Pow, and I've got a link to that in the video description, and they have a very nice phone app, Bluetooth connectivity, and I can always see what the charge is on the battery. And yeah, that's, you know, something you really should know. There it is right there. So yeah, that's one suggestion. If you're going to buy a battery for one of these things, get one with a you know, a phone app like this where you can see what the charge is. All right, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Check out my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, and check out my books. Don't forget my new book, Fishing the Edge, Techniques and Tales from Surfboat and Kayak, available at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon.